Hello everyone, welcome back. We will be doing finger and brush swatches with and without a primer, 3 eye looks and a wear test. Without further delay, let's go straight into the swatches. Don't know if you can see that little red bit here. So that's from the Dexter palette. So I think it does stain a bit, but on my eyes I can't tell an obvious difference. Anyway, I got a bit sidetracked, so let's start swatching. This is my first ever Colourpop palette. It's the Twilight New Moon. The shades are just everything that I would wish for. So Mood Control, Marry Me, Wolfpack. Oh, Wolfpack feels a bit gritty. So those are the first 3 shades. That's the side without primer. It's just one swatch. Going back into those shades again. I'm going in with Alice. I love Alice in Twilight. So you got Senior Year, You're Sort of Beautiful, which all 3 shades are just, all this palette just speaks to me. Oh, Alice, I was expecting more from you. I don't know why, it just doesn't look that great. But You're Sort of Beautiful is so nice and soft. I'm having some issues with Alice. It doesn't swatch nicely. Takes some blending in. So that's everything at the moment. So then I've got Adrenaline, which is another shade that I'd really like. It looks quite, oh, my pan's a bit loose. Did you see that? Let's bring you in. So I don't know if it's picking up, but my pan is loose, so it's just spinning. But the shade is beautiful. If you've seen the Dexter palette, I feel like that shade's quite similar to one of the other shades there, but I'll swatch that later. My Bloodsucker is spinning as well. Is this quite common for Colourpop palettes? I don't know. But that's Adrenaline, Bloodsucker and Face Punch. I'll take you back out just so you can see the swatches a bit more. So all 3 of those shades swatched nicely, and this is the primer side. I am quite impressed with the texture of these already. Don't know how I feel about the pans being a bit loose, but we'll see. So you've got Trade Secrets, Paper Cut, which feels a bit more gritty compared to You're Sort of Beautiful. And my October, November, December came a bit shattered towards the edges, but that feels nice and soft considering it's like a purplish tone. My Paper Cut didn't feel, it felt quite gritty considering it's a matte, but that might be just because of the pigments they used and what kind of shade it is. But October, November, December feels lovely. And even in the books and in the movie, I like how they showed October, November, December. In the books, I believe it's just like plain pages. But yeah, that's those shades. And I might not do, oh, let's see. So you got Soul Reader, so that's soft, but I feel like it's a bit crumbly. Anyway, oh, it's definitely crumbly. I don't know if you've seen that. Let's see if I can bring you in. Can you see it? It's there. So just need to be a bit careful with these shades, but they have traveled a long way to get to me, so maybe that's why my palette is not as great as some of the other ones. Your Everything feels like the same texture as Paper Cut. It's not as soft as You're Sort of Beautiful or October, November, December. So that's the next 3 shades. Like, look how pigmented that is though. Ooh, I like that. So those are all the shades at the moment. Feel like, so initially, obviously I'll know more once I actually start using it, but I feel like I like it more in the palette than I do the swatches. But these are the kind of colours that I gravitate towards. The reds, I might be a bit spoiled because the Dexter palette reds was just too good. But even the glitters in this palette, I'm not overly impressed with them. The mattes are okay, but all the shades do speak to me, so it could turn from here. Like Alice, so if you look at this shade here, Alice, I had such high expectations from it looking at that shade there, but it just didn't translate in the same way. I do really like Senior Year, and I do like these darker tones as well, so we'll see what we can do. But I'm going to move on to my brush swatches for you. We're going to do the same thing again, so a primer side. So we're going to do the same thing again with the primer side and a non-primer side, but I'll see you soon. So I'm back. I just wanted to show you, so I did rub it quite a bit, and the primer side, all this side here, the colours have stained, and I was there for a while, so we'll see how the rest of this goes. But we're just going to do brush swatches. I'm just adding my primer, and I'm using the NARS primer. This this brush and this one. So I've got Mood Control. I love the names. Have I mentioned that? So that's Mood Control. And it gives, actually picks up quite nicely with the brush. Now I'm not complaining about that. I can actually use that as a highlighter if I wanted to. And finally a palette that gives a nice inner corner highlight. Marry Me. I can see myself using this as a transition shade just in my crease, and I'm not having any real issue with the brush so far. And then we've got Wolfpack. Got some cat hair there. So this is Wolfpack. I think there's a new Twilight movie coming out soon as well. Is it number 6 or something like that? So the whole thing with Twilight, it's so hit and miss. Like, leave a comment below if you actually like Twilight. I love the movies, my partner really doesn't. But that's Twilight. I'm going to move on with Alice. So Alice did not swatch nicely when I did my finger swatches. And it just looks patchy. Doesn't swatch nicely with brushes as well. So I don't know. I was expecting a lot from Alice. I don't know if it's because I like her character so much. But I guess it might not be terrible. I guess we'll see how it works on the eyelids. Because swatching on your hands is very different to swatching on your eyes. I normally do eye swatches, but because this palette took so long to get delivered and my last video hasn't done that great, I don't know if I'll do actually eye swatches. If you do want eye swatches, I'll do it as a short, so just leave a comment below and I'll get those sorted for you. This senior year looks so nice. Shall I bring you in? I think you're a bit far. But that look feels so nice with the brush. Without the primer, it doesn't pack as much of a punch, but with the primer it's lovely. And then we're going in with You're Sort of Beautiful. That's got a bit of kickback, which is expected because when I did the finger swatches, it was so nice to pick up the colour. But that's got a bit of kickback. And it'll be so nice to deepen out the crease or do a outer corner just to deepen any look out. And then we're going in with, I'm going to use Adrenaline now. You know, one thing I like about this palette already is you can actually use the brushes and you get to use the shimmery shades, which is a nice difference. And they're not, these shimmers are a lot more, they're less flaky compared to the Dexter palette anyway, because like those shimmers were really gritty. These feel nice. I'm gonna use a fluffier brush for Bloodsucker because it looks like it's more of a satin. Definitely performs a lot better with the primer side, but just for the sake of experimenting, it doesn't even go on the non-primer side. You definitely need something for it to hold on to. I'm going to use a flat brush, and you can see I am trying to pick product up, so you can use a flat brush to add that colour back on. Just going to use a flat brush on this side as well. It's just so much better with the primer. And then just going to clean my brush. I might sound different because I don't know if you watched my other videos, I'm not well. I'm recording this early in the morning, but we've all got a cold. This is Face Punch, yet again same issue. It's not really picking up that well on the non-primer side, but on the primer side, no issue at all. Do you not think this palette's performing a lot better with the brush compared to finger swatches? Trade Secrets now. Oh, that looks good. This shade looks promising. Then we got Paper Cut. That's the non-primer side. Oh, sorry, I keep doing this one. I don't know if it's I'm not well. Keep using the wrong shade. So I haven't got Paper Cut. It sticks so much better. Can you see that side feels a bit gritty? There's a lot more kickback. That's so much more smoother. So definitely primer side. And I like doing these tests because sometimes I just don't get the time to wear a primer. And I know it's just one more step, but when you've got screaming kids, one step is a lot too much to ask for. Same with this colour here, October, November, December. It does go on, but it just looks patchy. And it's kind of like the powder's just staying on the surface. Definitely with the darker shades though, you will need to blend it out a bit more. Which yet again, it is expected. And then Soul Reader, like the kickback, did you see that? Anyway, I'm only putting a tiny bit in. Oh, did you see that? Like those 3 shades, I feel like you'll have to be very careful because they could easily look patchy. And then I'm going in with Soulless Monster, which Jacob often refers to Edward as, or any of the vampires as soulless monsters. I find it funny because I was watching the scene when Bella realizes that Edward's a werewolf, and she confronts him, and he's like, "Oh, am I not the right type of monster for you?" And this shade just reminds me of that. But yeah, I like that shade. That performs really nicely with or without a primer, to be completely honest. And then we're going in with the last shade, Your Everything. And whilst I'm swatching this, I just wanted to remind you again, I'm not going to do any eye swatches, but if you do want any, please leave a message below and I'll happily do a short video for you. Sorry, I'm so snuffly as well, and I've realised in my last video when I was editing, some of my words aren't translating well, so I'm trying to say red and it comes up and it sounds like wet, and I don't know. So hopefully you can understand what I'm saying. We'll see. So that doesn't look nice, that doesn't look too good, does it? The matte shades, especially these three shades here, look really patchy, but anything below and anything above seems to be okay. I want to really do a look with the mustard colours. I wanted to use Alice, but after I've swatched it, I don't know, I don't like it. But let's see what we can do. So I don't have anything in this palette to set my eyelids with. So I'm going in with Senior Year, just in my crease. I don't have a mirror. Not well prepared for this video, am I? I like that colour though so far. It translates so much better on my eyelids than it did on any of the swatches. But to be fair, I was very drawn to this. I was going to go in with Marry Me on my crease first, but then, I don't know, I was just too excited to use this. Now, I feel stuck. So I don't know what other shade to go in with. I'm going to use Paper Cut on my outer corner and blend that in. And bring it up a bit. So I'm bringing that up a bit, not too much. That's what that looks like at the moment. I feel like I need some more here for it to make sense what to do. I'm not sure if I should use October, November, December, which is quite a purplish colour, or if I should just go in with the shimmer and then see how I feel. I'll go in with the shimmer. So those are the two options that I'm thinking, Face Punch and Trade Secrets. I think Face Punch. Let's put Face Punch on. So whatever colour I had left on my normal brush that I was using, I'm just doing down my lower lash line. So using a pencil brush, I'm going in with Senior Year. That's not showing much, is it? Not getting what I initially envisioned. To be fair, I like all the shades in this palette speak to me, but now that I'm using it, I feel like I don't know what look I want to put together. It's taking some time to pack this colour on. So I'm using my other brush. I'm just going to see if that works better for Senior Year. And I'm just going to go in my outer corner into my crease. Just to kind of connect that a bit more, I think. Just so the look looks a bit more cohesive. Okay, I'm going in with Paper Cut. Just here, just dabbing it there ever so lightly. and then my bottom eyelid. And then I'm using Mood Control just on my inner corner here with the smallest brush ever. And I've lost my lashes, so I'm just putting my mascara on and then I'll come back and show you the look. That's the finished look. So I use the Colourpop, I can't even talk. I use the Colourpop gel liner in brown. And I use the One Coat Wow for my lashes. I can't remember for the life of me where my lashes are, so till I don't get any new ones. This is it. So my eyes are already primed, and now that I've done my first look I feel quite inspired for my second one, so I'm thinking to do a mustard red kind of look. I'm going to go in with senior year again. This time I'm not going to go out as much. Do you know, everyone on YouTube has really nice beautiful eyes. I'm not saying my eyes are not beautiful. However, I don't have eyes that are as big as other people on YouTube. So they have these nice beautiful big eyelids. I have small eyes and I have hooded eyes, and I don't have a lot of lid space. It might appear that I do just because of how zoomed in I am, but I really don't. So when I look at their tutorials they do, and then I try to replicate it on me, my eye look goes up to here because it just doesn't work. So I need to always remind myself to stay closer in because I do have tiny eyes. Okay, so I'm going to go in with red all over my lid. Actually, I'm going to go in with bloodsucker here and here, and then I might just do a lighter glittery shade here. So bloodsucker, I feel like that's like a satin shimmer. And when I was swatching it, didn't pick up on the brush well at all. Let's see what we can do. Doing a very tiny amount. I don't want to add too much on so it feels overwhelming, but I just want enough on the middle. Now I'm going to try to go in with senior year again on my bottom lash line. So the last look I did something quite similar, however it didn't show up well on my lower lash line, so I'm just going to try again. Sometimes you have to just wear a shade in. I'm going to go in with the shade Bloodsucker and just tightly pack that here. So I'm going to deepen this up a tiny bit and I'm going to add some brown to it. Going in with your everything, just on the outer corner a tiny bit. Because the mustard was quite a muted tone and the red was quite muted, I think it just needed something a bit more, just to add a bit more dimension. I think that looks good. So I'm just going to blend that out, finish the look, and I'll be back. So I'm going in first with Marry Me, just in my crease. I'm going to try to do a nice, easy, neutral look. Then I'm going to go in with You're Beautiful, just a bit lower. All over my lid, around the outer corner here. I don't really have much of a game plan. Just gonna see how I feel. And this is my look that I'm using for my wear test. I'm trying to stay in focus. But often when I'm doing my wear test, I get that carried away playing with the makeup. I'm not always in frame. Just trying to be a bit more mindful. And then I'm going in with Your Everything. Just a tiny bit. I might use those two shades. So that's Soulless Monster. That's Wolfpack. Let's do Wolfpack in here to blend that out with. I'm going back in with Your Everything just to deepen out the crease a bit, the outer corner, and then I'm going to put that on my lower lash line. Just going to finish off the look and then I'll be back. So this is the wear test after 12 hours. My final thoughts are that the wear test was really good. I had a very active day and it looked perfect by the end of it. I don't know why this palette overwhelmed me, maybe because I'm not well when I was recording it, but all of the three looks I did looked very similar, even though I did try to make them look quite different, and I was quite stuck in terms of what I need to do with the palette. The colours did blend out really well, and I absolutely adore the packaging. Overall, I am happy with this palette, but I'll need to use it a bit more to see if I do love it. However, one downside is the shipping takes forever. I might not order much from Colourpop as I already know that this video will not get much love. But thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe and follow for more.